Welcome to the Tali Mark. My name is Tali, your very favorite name to hear, and your very favorite name to say with me today is...
Alexx.
Yes,
Hi,
Alexx. Hello, wave. Push the hair. There you go.
Period.
And we also have an audience today. It's Anna.
You already know my pookie bookie.
We're going to hope that there's not too many inside jokes. This is a trial run.
Sorry. That was more her job and less mine. Shouldn't have done that.
So we're going to get a live audience reaction to my joke, so you better be in a laughing mood, bitch.
Yeah, I'm always laughing.
Did she laugh at anything?
I really do.
Okay. Oh, and today's topic is submissive. Submissive.
Spicy submission with a little bit of trauma.
With a little bit of trauma.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, we're going to go deep into the psyche today. I forget how I start this every time. First, what's your body count?
Okay. I'm going to say maybe 2 exactly, because if I made you come, I fucked you, you didn't fuck me. You know what I mean?
So you have to come in order to count it? The bitch, my body count is 0 in that case. Oh, well, it's 1. Jordan. I forget about Jordan. When I talk about sex, it's all about men, and then I'm like, oh hey, you have a significant other.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like, I don't know, to me, I've had sex with other guys, but it kind of wasn't, I didn't count it.
Okay.
I don't count it.
The only time I didn't count it is when a guy did not come, and it's only happened to me once. Yeah, right? I'm mad about that. Fuck you, Connor. For real.
Connor?
Yeah.
Oh, no. Canceled.
Cancel.
Absolutely not.
It's a white boy, too.
No, yeah, I've always made them come, but...
Okay, you don't need to brag. I took that as a brag.
Oh.
That's a sensitive topic.
It really is.
Sorry, I didn't mean to trigger you like that.
It's triggering. Like, I want to
God.
know why he did it. And I hope to God he's listening to this, and I hope to God he tells me why he didn't come.
Wow. Dang.
Yeah, what's the reason now?
Crash Connor.
Yeah. Okay, anyway. So you would count 2 because those are the 2 men ever have only made you come.
Yeah.
But you've had sex with more people.
Yes.
Okay.
So, having sex-wise, like a good 5.
Okay. And then when did you lose your virginity? And how old are you now?
Oh, I was 14. I'm 25 now.
Was the 14 consensual?
It was.
Even though minors cannot give consent. If we're being legal, minors cannot give consent.
Minors
if you're
cannot
under the
give
age of
consent.
18, you
Don't
can't give
be
consent, so don't
having
have
sex
sex.
as a child.
We're talking over each other. I have no idea what you just said.
I didn't know what you were saying either.
What were you saying?
But it
the
was
same thing?
along the same lines of the same thing.
Was it, Anna?
Yeah, same thing, just different words.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the editor will have to choose who said it better. Was it me? Okay.
Wow.
Well, look at me.
All right.
It was consensual with
Yeah.
the person that was also under 18.
Yes.
Okay.
Same age.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Of sex? I didn't have sex at that age.
Oh.
I lost my virginity at 18.
Oh.
Yeah, crazy, right? And I started giving head at 15. So you beat me. Congratulations.
Oh. Yeah, it was this guy that I was dating at the time, and he was my first. It was not a great experience. Yeah. So we were dating, I think this was like well into a year when we first started dating. And one random day we were at my house. My mom wasn't there at the time. So it just kind of happened. I didn't expect it to happen. So it just kind of like happened.
Had he gone through puberty yet?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't know. When do you guys start puberty?
Later, normally.
Oh.
But like the first blowjob I ever gave was to this kid, this guy. I was 15, and oh my God, he was a grade younger than me. I forget his name even. I think he went by like some sort of initials, like CJ or some shit like that. And he was a loser, but he was the funny fat kid. I resonated with that as a fellow funny fat kid.
Me.
At that time, I was not that fat. Like, I can look back and be like, I wasn't that fat. But, you know, you're still battling, like, once you grow up fat, you're like, I am fat forever.
Yeah.
You
like,
know,
the
you
inner
still,
voices are just always going to tell you that.
yes. And so, I felt for him. I was, I don't even know if I was popular. I was known, but I wouldn't say I, like, hung out with the same people. I didn't have enough money, but I was really funny and, like, edgy. And so I felt like people knew me. So I would say probably. Anyway, so I talked to him. He was a grade younger than me, and he, I was really into pills at the time. And he said his mom had, like, some sort of pills. I don't even know what they were. But basically I said I would give him head if he would give me the pills. And so he said yes. And so we met at a park. I was tutoring him. And in the park bathroom, I gave him head. But when I tell you, I had watched a lot of porn to prepare, right? At that time, I was already, like, sending nudes to random men all across the probably world. And so when I tell you that I know for a fact that this man had not gone through puberty yet, I know for a fact. First of all, you could tell it was the first time that he shaved. He shaved so nervously. There was, like, the little blood marks everywhere, you know, because he's pale. He's white. And he, like... it's gross to talk about, like, his size, but all I'm going to say is I didn't know it was over because I was expecting cum. I was expecting to taste or feel some sort, because I gave him a blowjob, so you feel it.
Yeah.
I didn't feel anything, and he just said, like, oh, thank you. It was, like a 3-5 minute ordeal, and he said, like, thank you, and he pulled up his pants. So I was like, that's weird, and I thought I didn't make him come, but now I realize that he orgasmed, but he had not developed to the point. It's disgusting. It is disgusting to talk about this. But I was the same age, 1 year older, so it's fine. But he had not developed to the point where he could, like, have sperm. He didn't have, like, like a lot of ejaculate like a man does.
Okay.
So that's how I know if you gave your partner at the time head, you would know if he had or had not gone through puberty. Like, they have, like, a pre-cum.
It's like pre-cum, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But they don't have, like, a rush
full...
of, like...
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that was that.
Yeah. So the first time I had sex, was not that great. That great. I didn't really start giving head until, like, maybe 16, 17.
So you were having sex before you started giving head. That is wild.
I just always thought that was weird. I don't know. To me, it's like, I don't know. I guess as a kid, I was, like, very hypersexual.
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of more of just about having sex and less about discovering what it actually was.
Were you a chubby kid?
Yeah.
I was. So do you think that I felt like sex was an escape? Like, the faster that I was willing to have sex, the more value I would have. Even though I was fat, I was willing to have sex, so then men would still like me.
Oh. No, it wasn't really anything like that. I kind of just, like, when I was a kid, I was introduced to a lot of sexual things that I didn't really know or understand what was sex at the time, but I knew it was something that I shouldn't have been seeing or shouldn't have been doing, let alone a child, you know?
Yeah.
So I was introduced to a lot of adult things at a very, very young age that just kind of made me, in some kind of sick way, think of, like, okay, I know about this, like, I wonder what it actually is. Yeah. Trying to make myself believe, like, that was something I was supposed to be doing.
Yeah.
Kind of, if that makes sense.
I knew about sex, like, early. Yeah. And, like, I remember in second grade, I had a crush on this kid. No, in first grade, I had a crush on this kid. His name was Jean-Paul. He was French. Jean-Paul.
Jean-Paul.
And
I knew how to do that.
My friend, Katie, my best friend at the time, they were going out in first grade. They were dating. And I remember writing my diary, John Paul should be with me because he's obsessed with sex and so am I. That is my diary entry. And I am solely basing his obsession off of sex. I'm using air quotes for those of you that are listening. Because he, at one point, I think he was just copying something from a movie or from like a video he had seen, but he like rubbed his nipples in a way. But it was like a joke, right? Mm-hmm. Where he probably saw somebody in an adult movie do it and then it get laughs and then he replicated it. Yeah. But he had no idea. But I thought he was obsessed with sex because of that. And nobody in first grade was doing that.
That's really weird that you say that because there was something kind of like similar. I had like, as a kid, I was put through the system. So I would have like one of these teachers, or like they called her a teacher, but she was, now that I understand, a therapist. Mm-hmm. She would take me and my older sister out of class and like, okay, on a smiley face 1 through 10, how are you feeling today? Like just shit like that. And so she would give us these like, I don't know if you remember, like in elementary school, they would give you these little notebooks and they were kind of like tan. I don't know.
I was raised in a different place, so maybe we don't have the same things.
Okay. Well, there were these tan little notebooks, and she would tell us to take them home, write how we were feeling, or we'll just write our thoughts, right? There was this one time, and I had gotten in trouble for it, and I, at the time, did not understand why I got in trouble, but obviously now it's because as a child, I shouldn't have been writing things like that. Oh my God,
tell me what it was. Tell me what it was. Tell me what it was.
So, and it's so crazy talking about, like, childhood trauma and shit, because you never remember it until you're talking about it. Mm-hmm. So I remember there was this entry, and there was these two boys that I liked in my class. Mm-hmm. And I had wrote their names, and I was like, oh, I wish me, so-and-so, and so-and-so can all take a shower together. And, like, I think this was, around the time, like I said, I was introduced to a lot of sexual things at a young age. And half of the time I thought they were funny. And so this was, like, one of the first times I, like, ever watched Superbad. Okay. I don't know if you know the scene in Superbad when he's talking about how he had, like, a weird obsession with dicks. So he would draw dicks, like, on everything. Mm-hmm. I don't know why. Instead of hearts, I was drawing little penises around the names, and I got in trouble for that. But me being introduced, like, to a lot of sexual things, and then watching that movie, I'm over here thinking it's funny. Like, I thought it was funny. Mm-hmm. But apparently my family didn't think so.
Literally, there's nothing wrong with wanting to take a shower together. You could have met with swimsuits. Of course, literally.
But when you're, like, in elementary, I think that's a problem.
You literally like, what is on that little girl's mind?
Okay, so you like sex from a young age because it was taboo, I presume. Same for me.
I'm guessing.
Yeah. You knew something that you didn't fully know about, and nobody else knew about it. I'm assuming, and people usually laugh about it in, like, adult settings, right? So you think, you're like, oh, it's taboo. It's, like, interesting, right?
Yeah.
You don't know what the word taboo fucking means when you're that young, but you know that it's like, oh, it's like a secret. What is this?
Yeah.
Same with me. Did you know from the beginning that sex created babies?
Yeah.
I didn't. It was probably the biggest disappointment I have ever felt in my life, probably, to this day, was my cousin telling me in second grade, because I had thought from first grade, obviously I knew about sex before first grade, but then from first grade to second grade, I was, like, really thinking about, like, sex and the consequences and what it could absolutely be. Like, I know you are naked, and I know you're with a man, and I know you have different body parts, but, like, is it pee? What's going on in there? Mm-hmm. Like, you just rolling around. What's going on?
Yeah. So
I started to really dedicate a lot of focus in, like, what's going on with sex. And my cousin told me, sex, you get a baby from sex, right? And she was, like, older. And that broke my heart. It broke my tiny heart, because all I wanted to do was have sex, but now we have this extra consequence of it creates a baby. Mm-hmm. Did you have no, you knew from the beginning.
I knew from the beginning. I never had the sex talk with anybody.
Well, obviously, if you're drawing dicks, then your mom's like, well, she gets it. So
I guess from at that age, what I've learned from sex was the movies that I would watch, or really, really fucking gross. But I would happen upon my mom sometimes.
Would you stand there and watch?
No!
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Oh, literally no need to have that kind of reaction, okay? That was a non-judgmental
That's
question.
Weird.
I'm just saying, if you're curious, that didn't happen to me. But I don't know.
If you were curious hearing your mom have sex, would you stand there and watch your mom?
I don't have any... my mom is just a normal person, just like anybody else. That's why you'll never hurt me with a your mom joke. My mom do be a slut. It'd be true. Not anymore, because she's like a born-again Christian.
Can I get a hallelujah? Because same. I don't have a great relationship with my mom. And I do not have a father.
So it's time to talk about submission then, is what you're telling me. That's the segue. Yeah,
I'm just conversating here.
Let's talk about submission. Let's just jump in. Now that we have our background in how sex played out in our childhoods, how interesting it is. Submission. Now, when you speak of submission, you've tried it, obviously. You prefer it, or do you just happen into those situations?
It's kind of just like it just happens. Mm-hmm. I feel like, and I don't know if anybody else has felt this way, but I kind of feel like it's not an escape, but the chance to finally stop being so dominant in regular life.
Oh, I so understand that.
You know what I mean?
I so understand
because
that.
my every day to day, I'm the dominant one.
Yeah.
What I say goes.
Yeah.
Very assertive.
I feel
Very
like
assertive, yes.
with women as like leaders in general, you have to be that way.
Yeah.
I think they push you into this like ice queen box when you become like a woman leader. Mm-hmm. Where you're stripped of all of your feminine qualities of like caretaker, compassion, empathy. You're stripped of all that because you're the one giving direction. So now you can only be the ice queen bitch.
Yeah.
As a leader.
And I feel like that's how it's been like my whole life because I never got the chance to be soft.
Yeah.
Like even as a kid, I always had to fight my own battles at like 7. Growing up, teenager, I never really had that like protector in my life, not from any of my family members. So it's kind of just always been me in a constant fight or flight situation day to day. So when I am with a man and they know how to control the situation and make me want to be soft, that's when it kind of just happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you enjoy it?
Very much so.
Okay, so
Yeah.
I've never been submissive, but I've always wanted to. Always, since I was like, 15. And I've asked multiple times, I've explicitly said, like, I would like to be dominated. But as you know, because you listen to this podcast, I always get paid for sex. Mm-hmm. And so there's always this balance of control where it's like, yes, he can pretend to control me and he does control me because I can't really say no, but at the end of the day, I'm the one that's getting paid, so I'm also
You're
controlling.
still in control, yeah.
Yeah. So it's, I don't know, nobody has ever given me the vibe, and like you could argue that I could try it with Jordan, but it's like with Jordan, I love Jordan and we're equals, and I feel like I've dedicated more of my life to sex and understanding pleasure than she has. Mm-hmm. So it's like if she tried to take on a dominant role, I think I would laugh.
You wouldn't take it serious.
Yeah. I'd be like, what are you doing right now? Right? And so I remember once, I'll tell my story first. One time recently when Jordan and I were in the open relationship period, this guy specifically asked what I liked. And I was like, I would like to be dominated. And he was like, okay, got it. Right? So we meet. We're at this hotel. It's like pay by the hour. He chose the hotel. He seemed to know the employee there. And he was like, whatever. We got in the bed. We were naked. I started to give him head. He tried. I felt that he was trying to domineer. But not in the kinky sense. In the, like, normal sense. You know, where there's a line where, like, normal guys like to say that they're dominant, but really they're just pulling your hair or choking you.
Yeah.
It's not really, like, there's a different level of dominance when you're like, I am the caretaker of you, and you will obey, or you will be punished. That's like 50 Shades. That's a pretty, as much as it is not a good representative of dom and sub, it's also pretty good. Like, it's pretty contractual, and, like, you are signing yourself.
Yeah, like, you get a common understanding of, even though it's, like you said, not the best representation, like, it's the best understanding for people that really aren't versed and aware of dominance and submission. That's, like, the easiest way. So if you guys don't know, I would say watch 50 Shades just to get an idea. It's not the whole thing, though.
Exactly.
Not the whole thing.
So he tried, but he was just doing, like, the normal standards, the lesser sub, like, the category, where he was, like, pulling my hair and doing doggy, and he was like, do this and do that. Mm-hmm. But I didn't feel like he was deserving enough for my submission. Yeah. That's a big thing for me, is, like, for example, I would love to call somebody daddy. Love it. I'm all here for it. I'm, like, into it. I'm ready. But nobody has been deserving of that title. Same thing for dominance and submission. Like, unless you deserve to dominate me, I will not submit. Yeah. So he tried, but it didn't pan out. But it seems as though you have somebody that you do respect enough to be dominated by. Mm-hmm. Who would that be? Like, when was the first instance where you kind of got a taste of being domineered and liked it?
The first time ever, I think it was around, maybe I was like 18 or 19. Mm-hmm. It's kind of like after the age of 17, that's when I feel like my life was about to end. I really didn't have anything going for me or want anything going for me. All I just, like, really cared about is how my life was going downhill. Mm-hmm. And at that point, I wasn't strong enough to make myself feel like I'm okay. Like, I don't need anybody in my life to make me feel okay or to make me feel like cared for. So the person that I was with at the time kind of was also lost in his own problems.
How old is he? Just so I know.
The same age.
Okay.
Like, maybe a month or two older, but the same age. So not only battling with his shit and then me going through my shit, like, we kind of just decided to not push each other away in a way where we were focusing on only our problems and icing each other out. We kind of went through it together. Mm-hmm. And I feel like it was a way for him to express his pain and me to kind of feel mine, because when I shut down, I don't like to feel. I don't like to let myself feel, let alone show it to anybody else. Mm-hmm. So I feel like that was around the first time where I actually felt like, okay, he's making me feel safe enough where I can feel without me wanting to hide or be like, oh, like, I'm good, like, I'm okay, like, you don't have to worry about me. So that's kind of how it started. And then from there, it kind of was just like him holding me in a way where, like, okay, like, you're safe. Mm-hmm. And that's when I fully let myself, like, okay, like, he's actually making me feel safe to feel small. Yeah. If that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
So you found this, you were in a relationship at that point?
Yeah.
So it all starts with the emotions. You have to feel like, because what people don't realize, I want your opinion, is that you have to really trust your dominant in order to be submissive.
Yeah.
Like,
there has to be like a mutual understanding, because any fake dom could be like, yeah, I can dominate a girl. I can tell her to do things. I can make her beg for me. But at the same time, is she really respecting you or forcing to respect you?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Because there has to be like, okay, yeah, you can dominate me in the bedroom, but also in real life, in little things like, okay, if my brain isn't working today, I don't need to answer any stupid questions. Where do you want to go today? What do you want to eat today? Like, I wouldn't need to answer those questions if you are feeling safe and comfortable enough to answer them for me. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
It's like so much more. It's just like praise in the last episode that I talked about, where it transfers out of the bedroom.
Yeah.
Where like, it's relaxing. I think that, this is my controversial take, I think it's easy to be a submissive because I know what it's like to be a dominant. And I know that the dominant is like, has to work so much harder. Basically, everything about a dom-submissive relationship is all about the submissive's pleasure. Mm-hmm. Like, as a dominant, you don't really plan to, like, it's not like, I want my dick sucked, so I'm going to tell this bitch to get on her knees and suck my dick.
Yeah.
That's a poor dom. Much more important is a dominant that's like, I'm going to see how much pain, or I like pain. So for me, it would be, I'm going to see how much pain my submissive could take before, like, finding the edge of where it just turns from pleasure to, like, just pain in general, and keeping it right in that pleasure zone, and then at the end giving them, like, the most satisfying orgasm.
Yeah.
Like, so much thought and planning goes into being a dominant, I think. Mm-hmm. And people don't understand that it's not just, like, one man telling you what you can and cannot do.
Yeah.
And to, like, let him jizz on your face. Like, that's not what it is.
It takes a lot, not only physically, but, like, emotionally, to have, like a common understanding. Mm-hmm. You know, like, nothing, I don't know. To me, personally, nothing is more attractive than when I don't have to think around a man. Mm-hmm. Because every day of my life, I have to make my own decisions. There's nobody there telling me yes, no, what's wrong from right. Like, I had to learn all of this shit by myself. But nothing is more freeing and relaxing when I can turn my brain off around a man.
Yeah.
You know?
And just fully trust that they're not taking advantage of you.
They're not taking advantage of you. They're not talking out of their ass, you know, normal guy shit. Like, if I can turn off my brain with you and, like, just talk about the randomest of the randomest shit, seeing at any given moment, and you kind of just look at me like,
yeah,
you're just vibing. No judgment, no nothing. Just 100% feeling safe with a man. Mm-hmm. That is like...
It's like you bow down and be a submissive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like you're giving me the comfortability and the safe well-being that I've
craved
for such a long time, and I'm finally getting that. Like, of course, like pull your fucking pants down right now, you know? like you're making me feel safe. Like, I want to make you feel like this is everlasting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a reward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is like a reward.
Oh, okay. I knew was that you or was that you? It was you. I knew you were going to say that, and I was going to say it, but I was like, no, we're past that. We're not going to go into memes. But then there you were.
No, but it was too good.
Anyway, so in your submission, like, do you do, like, because you came to my party and you were wearing a little collar. Mm-hmm. So do you play with that collar?
Sometimes yes, and sometimes no, because for me, it doesn't take, like, any fancy, like, collars or whips for me. Mm-hmm. It's kind of just, like, your hand works just fine.
Okay.
And that's what I prefer because I can feel like with the collar, you can either put your finger through the hoop and pull on it or put a leash on it, but I'd rather feel the grip of your hand.
That's hot.
Because I can feel when you're really feeling it just by your grip.
Yep.
So it's me preferably my favorite necklace is always going to be a hand.
Yeah. Love that.
Yeah.
Did you practice that line before you came here?
No, I didn't. It just came to me
Wow,
now.
look at you. She is Picasso.
Hey, that was good. I really ate with that.
You always have such a way with words.
So, yeah, that's nice. So I'm a masochist. So, like, when I picture dom submissive, I'm picturing, like, 50 Shades. That's what I would like, is the spanking and the whatevers.
Yeah.
I don't think I would ever give up control in my real world. But yet again, I'm not into mixing feelings with sex. It's only Jordan. So I can never imagine doing that with a man. But I would submit in the bedroom if the man was deserving. Is yours also pain-centered, or is yours different?
It's on and off, depending what I'm feeling. Like, some days there's just, like, I'm feeling very just out of it, stress. Like, my life fucking sucks, work fucking sucks. Like, I need to feel something. So that is when the days where the root kind of just takes it to pain. And there are other days where I'm just kind of like, I want to feel loved today more than others, because very, very assertive in my day-to-day life.
Yeah.
And sometimes it gets tiring. Sometimes it just gets so tiring where I'm just like, damn, just love me a little bit right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I understand that. So hard. All right, let's switch categories a bit. God, my hair is like all up in this mug. Okay. Switching. We have to address the obvious in the room, which is you grew up without a dad, so you didn't have a controlling figure in your life as a child.
No.
So now, obviously, you crave control, right? You were kind of rapidly spiraling, and you needed therapy when you were in grade school, and you, at 17, 18, you felt like you had no purpose and no drive, just spiraling. And then you found, like, I don't want to say domineering because that's, like, cheap, but I would say a stable, a rock
Yeah.
to cling on to.
Yeah.
So do you think that your absentee father is the reason why you're drawn to submission?
Maybe, and like, maybe because as a kid, okay. So when I was a kid, I had a father figure, right? Start there. I had a father figure.
Was it like a stepdad or?
From what I knew at the time, that was my dad. That was my dad.
Okay.
He took me and my sister out all the time. We were always at his house, going to the aquarium, like just like having the time like any person without a dad would imagine having a dad would be like.
Yeah.
Now, by the ripe age of 7, this is kind of where I guess my life really kind of took a turn for the worst at 7 fucking years old.
Okay.
I had lived with my grandma. My mom lost custody of me and my siblings, so we were living with my grandma. He would come pick us up from my grandma's house. And this one specific day, I was not allowed to go.
To where?
To go with, let's say, my dad.
Okay.
He came to pick me and my older sister up, but I wasn't allowed to go.
By your grandma or by him?
By my aunt. Who
Okay.
also
Did you know that at the time, or who told you that you're not allowed to go?
She did.
Okay.
So, I was ready to go. All packed. I was so excited. I don't even remember where we were supposed to go that day. But she had, came at me in the worst way to come at a child ever. And she was like, where do you think you're going? And I was like, oh, my dad's coming to pick us up today. the fuck do you mean?
Yeah.
She's like, no, you're not going today. And I was like, what do you mean? She's like, you're just not going. And I was like, no, this is not fair. Like, why does she get to go and I can't? And I don't know if it was me saying that to her or what the fuck was going on in her day that time. But she was like, who even told you that's your fucking dad in the first place? And I was like, a bitch was stunned. I was like, huh? She's like, that's not your fucking dad. So go back to your room. And in my grandma's house, me and my older sister were the black sheep of our family.
Okay.
Why are you hating on a kid?
Okay.
I didn't do shit to you. But there was we didn't have a lock inside of our room. There was kind of like a makeshift hook on the outside of our door.
Okay.
That they would lock us in with.
Okay.
So I got in trouble.
Wait. We're just gonna back up on that real quick. Did they ever do that to you, like
All the time.
because you were being bad? Like, looking back on it, were you being bad?
No. I, like, to this day, I genuinely do not know why my family hated me and my older sister so much.
Okay.
Like, now that I'm older and kind of can question it, I know something had happened before I was even into this world with my aunt and my mom. They're sisters. Something had to have gone down, but they always took it out on how they felt towards my mom on me and my older sister.
Okay.
For no reason.
Okay.
They would, like, just like the craziest things. They would lock us in our room. There was one time where they were having a birthday party for my cousin. We weren't allowed to come out or eat. Like, and that's another conversation, but that stems why I have a really unhealthy relationship with food.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But anyways.
So you're not allowed to. Who says that's your dad? You went in your bedroom and you didn't have a lock, but
so they locked me in that room, and after that day, he would come over and still pick up my older sister, and I wouldn't talk to him. Like, it kind of just, like, shot me in the gut. Like, you're not my dad. Why did you pretend to be?
Oh, so you felt betrayed.
I felt betrayed. And then even after that, like, I can notice a really big shift into our relationship dynamic. Like, me going from thinking I'm your daughter to me now knowing that I'm not. And, like, I have no explanation as to why.
Yeah.
Why was I being lied to? Mm-hmm. Or why did this conversation come up in the first place?
Yeah.
She didn't have to tell me that.
Yeah.
I was a kid. Let me believe what I want to fucking believe. You know? Like, save that conversation to where I'm older and I can
comprehend it.
Yeah. Fully have a very more self-aware brain than what I had back then.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I found out that my dad was not my dad. And then from growing up, it kind of was just different stepdads here and there. Oh, you're dating this one today? Okay, what's his name? Oh, you're dating this one today? How long is this going to last?
But you reconnected with your mom. Or you at least were living with your mom.
My mom did not get full custody of me and my older sister until I was 13.
Okay.
So I would see her on the weekends. She was in rehab.
Okay.
So that stems on why me and my sister were at my grandma's. She had gave up custody to go into rehab.
So you had no stability and no love at home. So
absolutely.
I would say, I'm no therapist, but I would say my theory is correct, to where you finally found a rock that made you feel safe, like you had a home that wasn't going to lock you in a room and not let you eat or engage in parties that were happening probably downstairs. You finally found somebody that cared for you because your mom wasn't there, your dad turned out to be fake, and your aunts and grandma...
That's crazy for real.
Like, hated you. This is how you felt.
Yeah.
And then you finally found somebody that loved you for you, even at your, what you thought, lowest.
Lowest, yeah.
So have you ever been dominant with, or have you ever been submissive with anybody that is not that one person?
No.
Okay, so that one person is the person that is your rock.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we solved it. Really.
Woo, guys.
It seems as though that's that. However, yeah, and plus like the social weight that there is on a woman who is possessive of her own future, right?
Yeah.
You're going to move up like on your own if you choose. You're in charge of your own destiny. You don't have any help. So you must forge ahead and you must convince other people that you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And the only way to succeed as a woman in that setting is to be assertive. And assertive is putting it nice, because I know that I'm relatively assertive and I've been called abrasive, aggressive, like a bully, a bitch. When I think I don't want to beat the same old thing over the head. Like everybody says, like, I'm just trying to do my job. Or if a man did that, he would be called like a leader,
like
blah,
a
blah,
boss
blah.
or
Yeah.
whatever.
I'm not going to say that, but I'm going to say that we have to reflect on how people expect us to act and how that's the only option, really. I cannot think of another way that I could lead other than the choices that I've made.
Yeah.
I don't really regret any of them. And it's hard when you have that much social pressure. It's hard not to feel like you are a bitch, to like own that as your personality. Like even yesterday I said a joke and it was kind of bitchy, but I was meaning it as a joke, right? And the person knew it was a joke, but I reflected immediately and I was like, God, that's such a bitchy thing to say.
Yeah. That happens to me a lot.
Yeah, where you're like, everybody else says it, and so it must be true.
Yes.
Yeah.
To a certain point, it's like, damn, like even through kind of like my childhood or even like my adulthood, you know, trying to be in different positions, like you said, being called too assertive or too demanding or just a bitch.
Bossy.
Bossy.
That's another one.
You know, people making me out to be like this bully. Or I'm just being mean just to be mean. And it's like nobody understands until they understand. You know, nobody gets it until they'll fucking get it.
It's that
like,
society has conditioned you to be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's annoying, but at the end of the day, it's like I know, and it sucks because sometimes a lot of, you know, the way I come off is because of triggers or trauma. But it's like, I don't mean to be that way. Like, my bad. But,
Yeah.
you know.
Do you think that what I found is being really vulnerable about those things? Like, recently I left a job where I was there for 5 years. And I, like, was a boss. Especially at the end, I was, like, the boss to go to. Even the other, like, people that were on the same tier as me were kind of looking to me to be, like, the boss. I kind of reflected and I realized that the best way to explain off all of those moments of, like, bitchiness or harshness and, like, why I am so black and white with the rules is just because, like, I had numerous different depressions when I was in those leadership roles of, like, everybody thinks I'm a bitch. Everybody. So it must be true. I am a mean person. Like, you just start to believe it.
Yeah.
And it's so hard. But then right when I was leaving, I was like, hey, to be transparent, I've struggled with depression about this exact thing. And, like, I cannot, as you get more advanced in your leadership, maybe it would be beneficial for you to just choose your battles correctly.
Yeah.
Like, there were multiple times when I would have the same leaders that were on the same tier as me, and I'd be like, can you please reprimand this person? Because if I do it, I'm going to feel horrible about myself. And I cannot let that happen. Like, I cannot afford to continually get depressed about the same shit over and over again. And it helped. I think being vulnerable is the key to not feeling like it must be true that I am a bitch. Just a heads up, I guess. I don't know where I was going with that, but I guess advice, maybe?
No, I get it. It's kind of, I think that's like the biggest thing that I've been trying to make myself do for myself is be more vulnerable, because I hate being vulnerable. I don't like showing any type of weakness. I don't know why. I don't like looking weak in front of people.
Yeah.
And I think the biggest thing I'm trying to teach myself is to ask for help. Like you said, like you would rather go and tell somebody else to reprimand somebody coming at you instead of you doing it.
Yeah.
That's what I need to learn to teach myself and take the high road, I guess, sort of speak. Because I feel like a lot of people kind of just it's easier for them to look at me like I'm the mean person, or I'm being mean just to be mean. I feel like it's easier for people to acknowledge me as that type of person than to actually get to the bottom of why am I feeling this way? Why am I so angry about something so small that you did to me? You know, it may seem minuscule or small to this person, but to me, what you did is hurtful.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of people just, it's easier to forget. And then that's where it comes to me and my emotions getting the best of me and acting on it instead of talking about it. Yeah.
Luckily, I don't have that, the anger. I'm good at controlling my anger, luckily. So I immediately go talking to that person. But yeah, many people, in fact, I don't mean to brag, but I have not met a single person who deals with their anger better than me.
You know what? And I applaud you for that. For real.
Thank you.
For real. Because you see, yeah, you piss me off, I'm gonna slap you the fuck in the face. Like,
yeah,
for real.
That's not me.
But you know what? Props to you.
Thank you.
Good for you. I aspire to be you.
Please do not say that.
In that sense.
Okay.
Everything else, no, guys.
So, does it annoy you? So I have two more. Let's just lighten the mood. I think that we've gotten to it. I think we've accomplished why you think being submissive is attractive, and probably why I think being submissive is attractive. Would you agree that we've accomplished it?
Yes.
Okay. So then, let's just end it off on a couple of cute little notes. Okay? First, have you ever told anybody that you, like, are submissive in the bedroom? Like, has it ever come up?
No.
Oh. Well.
It's not like a conversation, like, say if I'm talking to, like, a guy and just be like, yeah, I like to be submissive in the bedroom. No, it's kind of just, like, I let myself experience different things with different people.
Okay.
You know, because I could be submissive with this one person, but then this other person, I could be totally casual, no emotion.
Yeah.
Just like whatever.
Just fucking.
Yeah.
Well, it's bothered me before, because you know I'd be talking about sex. I'd be talking about sex to everybody and anybody.
Everybody and everybody.
After about 3 minutes of normal conversation, most likely I brought up sex. Yeah.
X-rated now.
So I have told people that I would want to be submissive. I would like to be submissive. And anybody that knows me in like a work setting or like a normal setting, they're like, you? That annoys the fuck out of me. Because just because I'm your boss or I act like this doesn't mean that that's me to my core.
Yeah. That
pisses me the fuck off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Me. Yeah.
It irritates me because people won't take time enough to get to know you.
Yeah.
They just know surface you. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people only know surface me.
Yep.
And it takes a certain type of, not relationship, not friendship, but common understanding, hey, you're cool.
Mm-hmm.
You can see my other softer side.
I mean, for me, not so much, because I just show everybody anyway. But I was once at that point. But I just decided to fuck it all, and I'm going to talk about whatever the fuck I want, whenever the fuck I want. I'm an open book, you could say. But I'll give Daniel as an example, whom we work with.
Yes. Hello, Daniel.
He thought, basically there was this one point, I think it was right at the beginning of my open relationship, when I said something about, like, I'm in an open relationship, I'm gonna go, like, fuck this guy tonight, like, fuck, like, I have to shave, right? Like, something like that. And he was like, oh, you have it like that? And I was like, what do you mean? Like, I have sex. And he's like, I never pictured you like that. That made me mad. Where it was like, you didn't picture me having a life outside of this job?
Well, I think, to be fair, I think a lot of people that we do work with, I've kind of noticed, just don't care.
Yeah.
Like, they really are there to get their bag. And I respect it.
Mm-hmm.
You do you, boo. I respect it. Mm-hmm. So I kind of feel like we're the type of people that kind of, like, we just want to make conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to be cool. Mm-hmm. Like, I get it. You don't want to be my friend, and that's fine, but you got to shit on me like that.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, we're just trying to make conversation here.
Rewind it, and he was like, oh, you have sex? But he didn't say that. But that was like his face was saying, and I was like, yeah, like, literally sex has been a part of my life since I was in first grade. Like, and then it dawned on me that nobody knows me like that. I think that was the turning point where I started talking about sex much more frequently.
Probably. Because when was this conversation?
It was like a year and a half ago.
Like when you had just met him? -ish?
No.
Oh.
He knew me a lot before that, but people were saying that I had like a stick up my ass, that I was like a company man, that I was...
It'd be like that with you though sometimes.
No, I know. I enjoy a good work ethic.
And that's probably why he just probably just didn't feel that comfortable in that time. Like,
I mean, yeah, could you imagine your boss being
like your boss? Like, what if...
Okay, first of all, I've never been your boss. I've never been paid at the pay degree that is your boss, so...
No, but with the way you are, your work ethic, as you said, there's like a certain vibe.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
So he kind of just was like so caught off guard and was like, whoa.
Okay,
like,
so you guys are defending Daniel. I get it. I
No,
got it.
I'm
All
like-
I'm trying to say is that he didn't see me as a sexual creature, which is innate in all not even humans, all animals. As an animal, you must have sex to procreate.
Yes, ma'am.
So all I'm saying is I felt as though that remark was triggering.
Did you feel degraded by it? Like if he was calling you less than or something?
It was just like, you think that that's the only thing going on in my life? It was an eye-opener to, like, people really only see me as a bitch. As a, like, not boss bitch in the way that's like, yes, girl, you're a boss bitch, you know? Like, boss bitch
But, like,
as in,
actually,
like, a boss
yeah.
Or
bitch.
a bitchy boss.
There you go. Corporate bitch.
That's so crazy. I did not have that impression of you at all.
Thank you. You saw me for, like, a normal person, right?
I saw you as a normal person.
I was like,
Yeah, I
you're
think,
cool,
yeah.
You know what you're doing.
And then
know what
that's
you're
when you
talking about.
started going down
The sex
that
road,
you
yeah,
would
yeah.
have sex for money, and I was like, oh, okay, there's a whole different
Yeah,
side to
yeah,
this
yeah.
person.
That was
I don't
recent
know.
for me.
I think it really humanizes me. I think people don't, like, people say, you've said that I have a God complex. But I feel like people
Dude, I
elevate me.
remember that
But to be fair,
conversation.
Alex just says whatever she wants without thinking. She
Okay.
genuinely finds
I really
meaning
do,
in
and that's
that.
on my bad.
No, it's okay because I had to
But at
reflect
the
on it.
time of that, it was.
First of
what,
all,
the
girl, that was
other
like a
one
month
was
ago.
Superiority. What?
Yeah, superior. That was like a month ago that you said that.
That was more than a month.
Doubt it. I'll pull up the messages.
Go because I don't have them anywhere.
Anyway, I feel like people elevate me to that point. But if you just come in looking at me like a normal human, you'll just see that I'm passionate about my job and that I'm, like, normal. But people elevate me to the point where they think that I am something that I'm not.
Yeah, I think a lot of different people have different interpretations of the way that they see you.
Yeah.
Because from my own experience, when I had first met you, I thought you were someone higher than you were.
Okay.
I did. And that's the way you acted. And there's nothing wrong with that until you started coming to me with the sex talk and, like, blowjobs for cigarettes and blowjobs for this and blowjobs. And I was like, okay, cool. All right. And then that's when I kind of seen less corporate in you and more like someone who we can talk. Like, we can talk now. Like, we're friends. We're homies. Like, period. You know? But beforehand, when I had first met you, I kind of was just like, damn. I'm a little can't smile at work now. I can't.
She said can't make a joke around here.
Nope, dude, I'm over here with the.
That's so crazy.
Yeah, but now I'm just like, oh, what's up? Natalia's here. Natalia's here. Chilling.
Anyway, my second thing is, what's your best submission story? Like, what's the best nut you've ever had?
That's such a funny word. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying. I'm not gonna phrase it any differently. I'm gonna hang the question there, and you're gonna answer it.
There's been a lot of times.
The best.
The best. Okay. Okay. I don't know. Scene wise, was at home.
Okay. I'm gonna close my eyes. Tell me.
Okay.
Oh shit. Just move this whole table.
Okay, so I don't know how. Usually it's just like when we're at home. Just when I'm at home.
Okay.
Scene. In my bedroom, I have one of my bed frame is metal, just like sticks.
Love that.
Purpose-wise.
Yep.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. So, laying down, minding my business, just scrolling on my phone. And he grabs my hands. And I'm just like...
Okay.
Immediately tied to the bed. And I'm just like... At that point, I'm just kind of like... Wasn't even into it. Wasn't even aware what was going on in that second. But then I was like, oh, okay.
It's time.
Yeah. And so just my hands were bound. And maybe it's a problem with the way that I see myself. Some days I see myself worse than other days. I'll look at myself. It's just like really bad body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
I don't like seeing myself in the light during sex. Like, there will be light, but I'd prefer not to have the light on. Turns the lights off. And he just starts just making out with me. Kissing my body all over. And I feel like that's the best way to make a bigger woman feel more appreciated is when you love her body.
Okay, yeah.
So starts kissing me, biting me all over, and like, depending, bite-wise, sometimes there'll be blood marks.
Love that.
Sometimes there will be bruises.
Hold on, I gotta appreciate that. Go ahead.
Like, if I could show you the bruises right now.
Love the bruises. In the lost episode of the blood episode, that was a key part.
Yes.
My dad is calling me.
I don't.
Dad! My dad is calling me. Hold on, let me reject his call. Dad?
Sorry, Dad.
Go ahead.
I don't have a dad.
Okay. Bite. Okay, I'm back in it.
Okay.
We're in the bedroom. We're tied. There's body. There's licking. There's kissing. There's biting all over the body. The lights are off. Go.
Biting. Now he makes his way. I don't like hickeys. It's just like I never liked hickeys. I prefer bite marks, bruise marks.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So he's going all the way down, and he starts eating me out.
Okay. Yeah.
And this is where I know we changed the topic of what I wanted to talk about, but this is where my nipple play comes in.
Okay.
And
yes.
that
Wait.
shit,
Let me tell the guests. She originally wanted to do nipple play. However, we changed it to submission per her request.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So this is where nipple play comes in. And normally I don't, like I said, I don't really do toys or anything. Like, I have them, but
Yeah.
you know. And so I just love it when men just grab me and pinch me.
Okay.
So he's grabbing me
on the nipples.
on the nipples.
Okay.
Like my whole thing. Like,
Okay, your whole
full
chest.
hand.
Oh yeah, got it.
And then-
You have fairly large breasts. For those that are just listening, they're pretty large.
So
You're raw, fat girl.
let me. Okay. Anyways, so he's grabbing me, full hand grab,
Mm-hmm.
and he's pinching me. So
While he eats you up.
while he's eating me out.
Yeah, love that.
So that to me is kind of like, that's like my main course right
Okay.
there to get me off.
Love that.
And so he's eating me out, and I start to feel myself come.
Yeah.
And for some reason, I don't know why, I just can't, but I need to,
Okay.
but I just can't.
Okay.
And mind you, my hands are tied, so I can't push him off. I can barely kick him because he's like putting my legs down. Like, he has his, I don't even know, but can't kick him off. And I'm kind of just like at the verge of almost crying
Okay.
a little bit. Not bad, but I want to cry. Like,
Okay.
I have to come so bad, and you won't let me.
Okay.
And so that, I think that was the
Wait,
first
so he's
time.
no longer eating you out.
No, he is.
But you said he won't let you.
Yes.
So how is he not letting you? He's only at the hole? He's not at the clitoris?
Like, I don't know how to describe it really, but I don't know if anybody has ever experienced, like, what is it called? Like, edging, no?
Yeah, edging. Yeah.
Yeah.
When you like get to the brink and then you back away.
Yeah.
Or you, yeah.
So
Okay.
there you go.
Oh, so he's
what
doing that. He's edging you. Okay,
yeah.
on purpose.
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Fully aware. Sorry, didn't describe that right. But fully aware what he's doing.
Yeah, okay.
And at the time, I didn't know what the fuck he was doing. I kind of was just getting irritated, but feeling good at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
So I kind of was just like, what the fuck? Like, I'm very agitated that I cannot finish. Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
And that's when my eyes start getting watery. And then
Are you going to cry?
I wanted to cry so bad. I did not cry.
You did not cry?
I did not cry.
Okay, I thought that was where the story was
but
going.
I wanted to so bad.
Okay.
And then so he kind of bites me.
Mm-hmm.
Like right on the top, right on my clit, he bites me. And
Okay.
then that's when I don't know.
You came.
That's when he came. That's when I came, yeah.
He finally gave it to you.
Yeah. I don't know what that last bite did, but it did something.
Got you. So that's the best orgasm you would say that you've ever had in your life.
That whole night,
Oh, so it was like a multiple round.
it was a multiple.
That was like a warm up.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's nice. That's a nice story.
Yeah. And then I know you said something about, like, last episode that you've never really experienced what, like,
An orgasm?
no. Like somebody, when you're having sex with somebody and they constantly pull out
Mm-hmm.
and then just jam it back in you.
Oh, yeah, that?
Yeah.
But there's a difference in the last... That was the threesome episode. Because it's
Oh.
not just pulling it out barely and then slamming it back in. That's, for me, not enjoyable.
Mm.
But when they go in, like... There's a difference between slamming it and just, like, filling it all the way.
Yeah.
Filling it is a bit more, like, slower and enjoyable. It's like, I can feel all of you. But when you slam it, it's like I'm attempting to fucking, like, skewer
Yeah, that's just
the
kinda like
inside
a-
of your, uterus.
No, it wasn't like that. But he had, like, okay, so at this point, I'm turned over doggy style.
Mm-hmm.
And he's grabbing me by
The hips.
thighs.
Oh, the thighs.
Thighs?
The hips.
Hips.
Yeah, the hips, yeah.
And, like, this point, like, he's, like, grabbing me. Like, I can feel, like, my fucking bone. He's squeezing the shit out of my bone.
Okay, yeah.
And slowly, just, like,
Fills it.
feels it.
Love that.
And I was like,
That's
that
it.
was very heavenly right there.
Did you ask him to replicate that ever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But most times I don't even have to ask. It's just, like,
He knew.
He knew.
Yeah.
He knew.
That's so enjoyable.
Yeah.
Happy for you. Okay. That's a good-ass story to end on. So, as you know, because you're just the biggest fan of this podcast ever, we end on a rate. So, 1 out of 10, your rate for being a submissive.
A 10.
1 out of 10. 1 to 10. 1 to 10. A 10.
A 10.
Yeah, I would hope. Fucking bitches on here rating their kinks that they signed up to come on for like a 7. Come on, Elsie. The fuck?
Oh. I didn't get that far to that point, but...
Okay, well, listen to the
I
episodes
skimmed.
fully, please. But yeah, she rated hers like...
Probably the biggest fan.
Yeah. I know who my biggest fan is. It's Ricky. Yeah. I said it, and he's going to be so happy when he gets to the end of this episode because he watches it all the way through.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does.
Wow. Way to go, Ricky.
Yeah, anyway, my rate for some... Well, I've never done it. I don't... Honestly, like being completely honest, I don't know if I ever will. I've only once in my life ever felt like calling a man daddy, but we hadn't had that discussion yet. I'll talk more about it on the daddy episode of this podcast, whenever it comes out. But yeah, I don't know if I'll ever be able to fully submit. I did like being dominant when I was. It was a lot of work mentally. Yeah. But I would say maybe I would enjoy it. If I could fully get to that point with somebody, like that one guy that I wanted to call daddy, that was very impressive. I would give it like a 9. But, however, I've never done it. And it would need to be somebody that really, really understood what exactly I like. Because I don't like to orgasm.
Yeah.
It makes me feel gross. For another time. But... yeah, I don't know. For now, at my attempts, I mean, you could count the one guy that said he was going to make me his submissive. We'll count that, I suppose. That was like a fucking 3, bruh.
Oh.
Yeah, it was bad. 3! Not even meeting the halfway mark. He won't listen to it because his wife won't let him.
Oh.
You know how I be out there on these streets.
Well, shit.
Also,
Very
I'd
nice.
like to point out to the viewers that I'm wearing my specially made the Tali mark shirt. I have no bra on, but I don't think you can see it.
She's at home, guys. Don't judge her. She's
Yeah,
in her
exactly.
comfortability.
I wouldn't wear a bra even if I was out.
Oh.
Anyway.
I wish I could do that. For real.
You certainly cannot.
I cannot.
Your rate of being on this podcast.
I loved it.
Did you really?
Yes, I actually did. Because, like I was telling Anna, that's what I wanted to ask you. Why I asked you if you had prepared questions. Just because I feel like, even though it is very professional to have questions ready, it's just a natural feeling. Just talking about it. Just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
Just talking about it.
Yeah.
Go with the flow.
We never would have talked about our intense talk about gender in the U.S. at this time. We wouldn't have talked about X, Y, and Z.
Exactly.
Okay, Anna, what's your rate of listening to this podcast? Live.
Live?
Even though
in
you went to
action.
go pee in the middle of it.
They didn't know that. They didn't know that.
Well, I just exposed you.
No, how dare you. I actually needed to pee from like the very start, but they don't want to listen.
I have to pee right now, so like let's get this rate out the way so I can go.
10 out of 10.
10 out of 10.
10
Yeah. Yeah.
is what
10,
Anna
10.
rates this.
Okay
I
then.
had an idea going in, so I knew it was going to be good.
Okay.
I knew it was going to be good.
It's going to be very great.
So I'll say goodbye first and you could say goodbye last because we just bonded like that.
Period.
Okay. So goodbye to all the viewers. Goodbye from me.
Bye, guys. And listen to my full episode. Don't be cheap and skim through it.
You should have said that in the beginning, but goodbye.